Welcome back to Theresa.is.Dead. My name is Theresa and I'm very much alive. And if you're new here, welcome. I have an awful garbage mouth where I curse a lot. So if you're not into that or weird stuff in general, this is not the place for you. Feel free to exit the video here. No harm, no foul. But I'll remember our time fondly. Today, boys, girls, toasters, we have a lovely decluttering because I have too much stuff in my possession and I need to just purge it from my existence and get these demons out of this apartment. Now, with that said, the things that I am going to be showing you today, if they are your favorites, that's great, that's wonderful, it worked for you. I'm not saying all these products are bad, they're just products that I haven't used in a while and I know that they'll have a better home with someone else. Keep in mind that all these products that I am going to be showing you are spoken for, so please don't be that person in the comments that is like, like, just stop. Don't be that person. Don't be that annoying asshole for 5 minutes, okay? See how that goes for you. Now, with that said, I have my wonderful assistant, Alan, with me.
Hi.
Alan's going to be helping me move stuff, hold stuff, provide snarky comments because, you know, I tend to say gravitate a lot. I tend to drone on and on and on and on and on. So Alan will keep me in check. Now, with that said, let's start with the decluttering. So the first one is this Extreme Access Pocket Shadow from JCat. Yeah, it's okay. The next one is from e.l.f. I don't know what the fuck this is called. Modern Metals. e.l.f. shadows, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like, with the exception of like the J Kissa collab, which was pretty decent. I don't really like e.l.f. shadows. I always find that I get like some weird allergic reaction to them. So yeah, bye. The next one is this Maybelline Soda Pop. Honestly, I didn't mind this palette at all. I thought it was actually pretty good for a drugstore palette. It's just, you know, I don't know, I never really reached for it because I have these colors in my collection that are just, you know, better quality. But this wasn't bad though. I think this was actually better than the Lemonade palette.
By reach, you mean gravitate, right?
Shut up. Next one is the NYX Grind Palette. And yeah, this is kind of like where I start to kind of fall apart with NYX. I don't think NYX is all that great. I feel like when they pump out eyeshadow palettes, for every good palette, there's at least 7 bad ones. And this is one of them. Well, let's talk about some Makeup Revolution shit. Now, the first one is the Emily Edith palette, and it's okay. It's not terrible, but here's the thing. The highlighter is the blush is okay. The contour is too warm. The shadows in itself are all right. This powder is okay. Honestly, the packaging on this is really ugly in comparison to actually majority of the Makeup Revolution palettes that I'm decluttering and the ones that I actually have in my collection. This is not cute. Sorry, Emily Noel. Like, I know this is your baby, but like this is not cute. The next one is this Carmi Kiss of Fire. This palette actually was pretty good, but I just never find myself reaching for it. But I actually think out of a lot of the Makeup Revolution palettes that I have been trying, this has really great pigmentation. The Pizza palette. You know what? Like this, I did review this and the Avocado palette. The Avocado palette I fucking love. This one is like, it's okay. It does its job. Like the silver was really good in this, but you know, I don't want to keep it for just really one color. Everything else was kind of like okay. Not my favorite formula, and I feel like it was actually a little bit different than the Avocado palette. But this, meh, I don't really reach for it. It could get a good home somewhere else. No lie, the Soph X one, I got this for free when I purchased something in Ulta. I think I used it maybe once or twice, and it's okay. There's nothing to write home about. I never reach for it. It needs to go away. The next one is actually a Tammy X Revolution, and I'm embarrassed to say that I never used this palette at all. I purchased this with the intention of actually doing a video, and then I just never did. Just never had time to. So I guess I really never wanted it anyway, so oops. So next one is this Lemon Drizzle I Heart Revolution palette. Again, it's okay. It's kind of weak in comparison to the other chocolate bar palettes. And the color story, I want to say that I wanted to love it a lot more, but no, it's weak pigmentation, unfortunately. So here are some like loose little items that I have. The first one is this Stila Little White Lies. What the fuck is this? Liquid eyeshadow. I talked about this being in like the worst makeup of 2019. It pretty much looks like spit with yellow phlegm in it, so fuck that. Next one is this Catrice Liquid Metal eyeshadow. This is actually pretty good, but I haven't worn it in quite some time. I never really reach for liquid eyeshadows unless it is Stila, which is kind of unfortunate. But the next two are from Wet n Wild and is from the Gothographic collection. And while like I love the packaging and all that good stuff, you know, the formula is okay. It's nothing to write home about, and I think out of liquid eyeshadows, for drugstore, these are kind of really shitty. The next two are Laura Mercier, and I believe these are their caviar sticks. You know, my coworker was like,
oh my god, you need to go get these. These are fucking amazing.
And then I was like, yeah, sure. And then I got them and I was like, when am I ever gonna wear these? I have no reason to ever wear these. So I actually have a dark one that's supposed to be really good for a smoky eye. But I'm like, no, I actually really like powder shadow better than these little cream products. So same goes for this Bobbi Brown one. Totally forgot that I even had this in my collection. I was actually supposed to give this to a coworker, but this I got in a BoxyCharm. This is from Nude Sticks. I don't really care about Nude Sticks as a company. I've never really found a lot of products that really work for me, so that's why I'm decluttering it. And last but not least, this is from Mally. And this was also, I want to say, either in a BoxyCharm or an Ipsy or some other bullshit subscription box that lately I've just been hoarding shitty makeup, and I'm so glad to say that I canceled both of those services. So hopefully in the next declutter, I won't have to declutter so much bullshit. But yeah, this, fuck it. All right, let's talk about some ColourPop. The first one is actually from Bretman Rock, and this is the lip palette. This palette was not bad. It was fine. I just never reach for it. I think it's like a nice standard ColourPop eyeshadow. Like the yellow was really perfectly pigmented. Again, I don't really reach for it. But I did keep the blue one though, because I felt like it was a little bit more unique to my collection.
I feel like I haven't seen most of this shit ever.
There's a reason for
Was
that.
it just in the bottom of the garbage can and you just like peeled it out?
Yep, pretty much. Garbage can.
Great.
The next one is ColourPop Make Up Your Mind, and I received this free in like a ColourPop order. I have to say that this silver and this green color are so fucking good. But, you know, it's something that I don't really reach for all the time, and quite frankly, I kind of forget that I have it. I feel like this is probably the best time to start decluttering it, but this was fantastic. I didn't really like this. I don't even know why I fucking bought it. Like, I'm just so mad about it. This pressed glitter is like the bane of my absolute existence. The rest of the shadows, honestly, there's no true depth in this palette. It's just kind of, it's really, really fucking weak. So this is gonna get decluttered. And the same goes for the Blue Moon palette. So I actually got this palette, meant to do a review, never did it because by then I tried the Tarte Icy Betch palette and it was like all over from there. This is okay. I think probably out of the monochromatic palettes, this is the worst one. It's just not that good. The blues I don't really find very pigmented. It feels very chalky. There's no longevity to it. I just really did not like this palette. And last but not least, this is the Cute AF palette. This palette I've had for a very long time, and as you can see, I completely destroyed it. Looks like I took a nice little chew mark right there. This I loved. I loved this one, and this was actually my saving grace when I purchased that awful Natasha Denona Sunrise palette, or Sunset palette, or whatever the fuck it's called. Honestly, I think this is so much more fantastic than that palette. So, but it's just time to let her go, and I really don't reach for her as much anymore. But now looking at it, God, should I keep it? No, I gotta go. It gotta go. Bye. I had to. I can't, okay? I really, really want to make this work. I really do. But like, it's honestly, it's way more torturous to keep this in my collection, to know that I will never fucking use it, and I'm only gonna look at it. I love the packaging. I love the whole color story. This is fucking gorgeous, but it does not work. It doesn't work. I get no pigmentation, no payoff, no nothing. Like, this is garbage. I can't say anything else. The next one is the Face Candy Atlantis palette, and this palette actually, I think, was the answer to the Tarte Blue palette. I want to say last year, maybe? They like teased that, and then they came out with like a smaller version of Icy Betch or whatever. Anyway, this brand Face Candy, which no longer exists, came up with this palette, and yeah, it was okay. Very, very powdery, and then it tends to blend into nothing, so it's like not my favorite thing, but maybe someone else could have a better use of it. And last but not least, I actually have these two palettes from IBY. Now, I purchased these when I was at Ipsy, and I want to say maybe last year or so. I purchased a couple of items from them. Their eyeshadow palettes are fine, but they're just something that I just never really reach for, and they're more or less like neutral kind of color stories. Gravitate towards them. Like, I don't really find myself reaching for them. I think they're okay. They're not the most amazing thing that I have ever used in my collection, but they're not the worst. So these will definitely need to find a good home. So the next palette is from Tarte. This is the Make Believe in Yourself Unicorn Dream Fantasy Fart palette, and this it was okay, and I feel like this survived every declutter, but I was like, you know what, I haven't touched this palette in a long time, bitch. This can't stay here. You gotta go. Sorry, bitch. And the same goes for this one, which is pretty much the Tarte Light Special. This is just so fucking Becky, it hurts. I just can't. And honestly, it wasn't really that bad, but then I was like, do you really need this? No, you don't.
So Becky?
Yeah, Becky is when something's boring.
Oh, okay.
Sorry to all the Beckys out there. I'm not talking about you. Just talking about the other Becky. You know what I mean, right? The next one is from Makeup Geek, and this is I think this is the Pumpkin Spice palette, volume 2 or something. This was okay. I normally like Makeup Geek shadows. I have no problem with them. This, it's just not my favorite. I think I like the first volume better. So, this is gonna have to go. Now I have some Juvia's Place palettes that mind you, I have a lot of Juvia's Place, but these are the palettes that I just like never reach for ever. First one is the Afrique palette. This one I think is actually my least favorite Juvia's Place palette. I feel like the pigmentation on this is like a little bit off. I don't know. I felt like it was never as good as their other palettes. The Zulu palette, the Masquerade Mini palette. Again, same kind of story. And last but not least, the Warrior 2. Again, the pigmentation on this one I feel like wasn't as good as the Warrior 1 or some of the other palettes that I have from Juvia's Place. So, sorry boo, but your time's done. And I can't say goodbye fast enough to these Too Faced holiday palettes from last year. This was... and then this one is... I don't know, they're okay. They're not great. Too Faced in itself is like okay, not great. But the quality of these I feel like are far less superior than the other eyeshadow palettes I have from this brand. The next product is from Butter London. I received this in a BoxyCharm. This actually was a fine palette. It wasn't bad at all. I just never reached for it. But the Butter London quality, it wasn't terrible, but it's something that I don't think I would ever really buy anything further from this brand. I don't know. It wasn't anything remarkable. The next thing is from Wander Beauty. It's the Seascape palette. I actually really like the quality of Wander Beauty eyeshadows. It's just this color story for me is like, meh, it's alright. It doesn't really do anything for me. The next one is from Alamar Cosmetics. And, you know, I did not mind this palette. I actually liked it. But again, it's one of those palettes that I never reached for. The color story to me was fine, although I really wish that there was a little bit more transition shades in there. But overall though, it wasn't a bad palette. And I'm curious to see what else this brand is going to do. But yeah, this actually wasn't terrible. It wasn't too bad. I fucked up. This is another Makeup Revolution product. And this was actually from one of my recent videos of reviewing the Makeup Revolution Halloween collection. This palette's, it's okay. I feel like it's more trouble than what it's worth. It sucks because it's a beautiful color story in my opinion. The quality is just real hit or miss here. Some of the shadows are just not pigmented at all and it's kind of a shame, so meh. These hurt because I really do like Makeup Forever. I really do enjoy this brand. But for a period of time, these little shadow books were always on sale on Sephora. And I was really, really excited to have them because Makeup Forever is a pretty expensive brand. So the first one is like this neutral palette. It's okay, but there's like nothing, I don't know, there's nothing really truly amazing about these eyeshadows. Like they're just okay, which is a shame because I have some of their other book palettes that I really did enjoy. But then when I started getting into their single eyeshadows, I felt like there was a clear difference between the two. This one has a little bit more color to it, but again, it's like when I compare this quality to single eyeshadows, it just doesn't stack up. For what it was worth and for the fact that I got these for sale prices, they weren't terrible, but I don't really have a use for them anymore. These are more BoxyCharm palettes, I feel like. This one is the Violet Voss Essentials palette. I really do enjoy Violet Voss's formula. It's just, you know, And the same thing goes for their Pro palette. Again, I really do like the formula. I have no issue with it, but it's just like I'm so tired of all these like warm neutrals with all these pinks and shit. Like I'm just fucking over it. I don't need any more fucking palettes like this. So no, sorry, bye. This I never opened, which is a shame, but I don't have any aspiration to because I know it's not going to be good. I think I just got it because I love the 90s and I love Nickelodeon. Other than that, like that was the only reason why I got this palette. The next one is from Ace Beauty or Ace Beauté, depending on how you say it, and this is their Grandiose Palette. And this is another palette that I got from a BoxyCharm, and again, it's okay, but it's like another warm motherfucking neutral palette. Like I don't need this many warm neutral palettes. The other one is the Ace Beauty or Beauté Slice of Paradise palette. For a rainbow palette, I actually had great difficulty working with this one. I think compared to their other palette that I got in this collection, I had a way more enjoyable time with it. This was just difficult. Like the shadows didn't blend as well. I really felt like I had to like switch up techniques to try to make some things work, but it never really impressed me that much to want to keep it. So sorry, it sucks because it's a beautiful rainbow palette, but just not great. And the next one are actually, I feel so bad. These are all the Pinky Rose ones. So I actually have another Pinky Rose palette and I love that one. It's called like the Runway palette. That's fantastic. Super fucking great. Actually looks kind of a little bit similar to the Boss Mood palette in a weird way from Morphe, except way better quality. These I wanted to love so much because their color stories are so fun and funky and totally up my alley. But I don't know, like I'll be honest, as many times as I tried playing with these guys, I always felt like lackluster. Like nothing was really fucking amazing. And I don't know, just it kind of sucks. Like I wanted to like this more, but no, quality is just not there. I love this grungy color story, but just I can't. No, sorry, you gotta go, bitch. Speaking of boss mood, I have to. Listen, for whatever reason, this palette was really good when it first came out. And then actually, since I've been using it for the past couple of months now, I feel like the quality completely dipped down. It wasn't exactly the same quality as I had initially. So I don't know, I think this kind of fucking expired or did something really weird. Oh, did that break? Oh, that broke. Oh shit, okay. I don't know why I'm whispering. This, it's not really for me. I think it served its purpose for what it was, but overall, this kind of also made me feel like I don't need any more Morphe shadows at all, ever. I just think their consistency is really just not that good. For every one good Morphe palette, there's at least 27 bad ones. So it's did its duty. Now it's time to go home and sleep well. All right, let's talk about some fucking Urban Decay products. Now, this is the Naked Reloaded palette. Yes, it's okay. And that's really that. Like, it's okay. Like, I didn't mind it. I didn't have a bad time with it. I think I'd give it actually a pretty favorable review because it's actually not bad for Urban Decay. It's just a color story that I don't reach for ever at all. Like, I will literally look this thing in its fucking eyes and I'm like, nope, sorry. Like, I just can't. And I think from that it was like, all right, I have to really declutter it because I'm not utilizing this little bitch to its full potential. So that's why this one has to go. Here's the thing, the Naked Heat palette, I got this palette because all the beauty influencers like, oh my god, this palette's so fucking great. But it's okay. Like, it's not really that good. It's okay. To me, the best Urban Decay palette is actually the Naked Honey palette. Like, that's surprisingly, shockingly, like, really fucking good. This is like, I don't know. It's okay. It's not great. And same thing like the Reloaded one. I look at it dead in its eyes and I just don't fuck with it. I'm like, nope, sorry bitch. Sorry, get back in line. The next one is from Viseart, and I actually got this from my Beautylish Lucky Bag. And I remember getting this and going, oh, okay. And that's kind of how I feel about Viseart shadows. It's like, alright. You're here, huh? Who let you in? I don't understand the hype about them. Everybody sucks their dick. And I think it's because like their packaging is just so plain and boring that it's like,
well, if they're plain and boring, then they must be cool.
Like, that's kind of how I feel about Viseart. Although I will say the packaging for this one is slightly better. This was a fucking snooze.
It's not a declutter without decluttering Huda Beauty.
I don't reach for this palette at all. This palette's okay. It wasn't bad. I definitely think it's better than the Desert Dusk Rose whatever palette. Like, fuck that palette. Fuck it in its fucking face. This one was cool. I didn't mind it. But I don't reach for it ever. And I find that some of the glittery pressed glitter shades, they irritate my eyes a little bit. So it's kind of like, all right, so I can't really use those. These glittery shades can be a little bit difficult to work with sometimes, which kind of sucks. The matte shades are fine, but I actually like the Mercury Retrograde palette way more than this one. Also, they do have that little concealer shade in here, which I did use for a little bit, but I really just don't see a difference. I don't know, like not really, it doesn't really do anything for me too much. But overall, beautiful color story, but I never reach for it. And yeah, it's sad. It's time. It's time. She gotta go, okay? In one breath, I'm thankful for this palette. Because I'm thankful for this palette because the biggest reasons why I started this channel was all due to this palette. However, every time I see it, I just get fucking mad. Because I think this palette is fucking terrible. It's garbage. And I hate that there are so many people that really love this palette, and from what I understand, I think I got like the second gen of this palette. Like, I didn't get the first generation. And apparently the first generation was like, oh, it's just so fucking good. But this one is not. This one hurts my eyes. There is no pigmentation. It doesn't last long. It's fucking garbage in my eyes. Second gen version of this palette. So, with that said, I think it's just time that we need to part ways. This bitch needs to go to a different home, just not in my home. I'm tired of her like eating up all my food and using all my electricity. Bitch gotta go. So, sorry Natasha, you out. And I might as well throw in her fucking sister too, the Sunrise palette. This palette, I fucking hate this palette. Ugh. I can't even open it out of the fucking box. This one I got with a Sephora Rouge card because I was like, oh, you know what, maybe, like, because sometimes I really do enjoy Natasha Denona formula, right? Like, the big gold palette is fantastic. Some of the mini palettes have been awesome. I was like, oh, you know what? This is a great price point. I actually bought it on a Sephora Rouge gift card. I was thinking to myself like, oh, fuck, like, this is gonna be great. And then I tried it and I was like, what is this shit? All right, half the palette worked for me. The other half irritated the shit out of my eyes. So with that said, it's like, it doesn't make sense for me to keep it because I get PTSD touching it. So I'm gonna pass on this. So this is gonna join her sister and they're gonna find a good home somewhere else. Let's talk about some problematic people, right? All right, she hasn't really been problematic, okay? Like she's kind of been flying under the radar, and good for her, right? Here's the thing, I thought I decluttered it, and I guess I did it. So I don't know what happened there, but this is the Laura Lee Los Angeles Party Animal palette, and I remember getting this from a BoxyCharm, and honestly, it wasn't bad. And when I swatched it the other day to try to see if the pigmentation was still there, it's not. It's very, very weak. So I just definitely think that the shelf life on this guy just did not. Ooh, is it 2 years? Ooh, that's weird. Ooh, okay. Anyway, so this didn't really work out very well for me, but initially I loved it. I had no problem with it, but I never reached for this. I completely forgot that I had it, and I have these neon colors from Suba Beauty, so meh, I'm gonna pass.
That's a name you hear a lot nowadays.
I can't, okay? And I know. I purchased her fucking highlighter palette. People were mad. Listen, fuck her, but that palette's fucking good. This is honestly the reason why I didn't want to buy anything from Jaclyn Hill. This hurt me because I really loved the original Morphe palette from Jaclyn Hill, and I thought it was fucking fantastic. And then when she came out with the Vault, I was like,
take my money, bitch. Take all of that.
And then I received it, and I was like,
what the fuck is this?
And it's funny because the bitch had my money. So I couldn't even return this shit because Morphe's return policy is garbage. And I think in my first or second declutter, 2 of her palettes were in there. So I've actually been holding on to these palettes in hopes that I'm gonna make these work. And yeah, no, they don't work. They're terrible. So this is the Dark Magic palette, and this is the Armed and Gorgeous palette, which sucks because I actually really enjoyed the color stories of both of these things. It's just the quality is disgusting. So fuck those palettes in the fucking face. Okay, so the Thirsty palette. Now, if I had Blue Blood, I would totally be decluttering it, but I brought that shit back, so I got my money back. This is not good. I don't know. Like, I don't understand how people like this palette. I really don't get it because the pigmentation on it, especially from the top and bottom rows, it's very weak. And then the metals row actually irritated the shit out of my eyes. So like I really couldn't utilize it. So I only could use at least 2/3 of the palette. And even though I really do enjoy the color story, there's just no pigmentation. And so it's kind of just like every time I look at it, I just go, and I cringe. And so it's about time I get rid of her. Like, she gotta go. Next to their first 2 palettes, this is the Beauty Killer palette, which was fine. I really did enjoy, and actually watching Jen Love's reviews, when she started decluttering this, I was like, yeah, it's time. This palette served its purpose. I think it was wonderful when I did use it, but I think comparing this quality to other quality from Jeffree Star Cosmetics, this kind of one misses the mark for me, so I don't really see a need to have this in my collection. So the Androgyny palette, I was super excited about this palette because I really love the color story. It's very, very grungy. And again, when I compare it to, say, like Alien palette or Jawbreaker or the Conspiracy palette, like this one just misses the mark for me. So I don't know. I have things in my collection that are far better. That's why she gotta go. I can't. I just can't with this bitch. So I purchased this one, what was it, last holiday or whatever, because I normally actually like Kat Von D quality, and it's just, I don't know what happened. As soon as she just became canceled, the quality of her brand just dipped down real bad. Now it's just like, what is this fucking Party City bullshit? Mama gotta go.
Bye, sisters!
I can't with this. Here's the thing, the palette's not that bad. Oh, I gotta like zoom out a little bit. She a big bitch. All right, this palette wasn't bad. It was okay, you know? I think it like served its purpose. I think for like a colorful palette, it does its job. I can't even get this in full frame. God damn it.
You should have got the new mini one.
God damn it, Alex.
That was brand new and mini. But still, you know.
Honestly, do you want to just go get it just for this declutter?
We can get it and then immediately declutter it and be like, bye, bitch.
Bye, bitch.
Bye, sister!
This one, it was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible. It was just okay. Actually, it's so big and bulky. This is such a cumbersome palette. The amount of color choices in here actually makes me get a bit overwhelmed. There's just nothing remotely revolutionary about this palette that makes me want to keep it. So she's gonna get a good home somewhere else. It's just not my fucking house. All right. Just to make things more complicated, I have a bunch of bronzers and powders and highlighters and blah, 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 to get rid of too, because I just don't really reach for them anymore. The first one is this from Wander Beauty. This is the Wanderous Dusk to Dawn palette. I received this in a BoxyCharm. Quality was completely fine, but to be very honest, the pan sizes are so fucking weird. It's just like, it's very difficult to use for my brush. Maybe if I was a Barbie, this would make sense, but I'm not. I'm a big bitch, so I'm just gonna have to delightfully pass on this.
Delightfully pass.
I'm gonna have to delightfully pass on this, girl.
Respectfully decline.
That's what I wanted to say. Respectfully decline.
Use this ever again.
The next one is from Juvia's Place, the Saharan Blush Volume 2. This is beautiful blushes. It's just they're a little bit too bright for me, and even if I do use them a teensy bit, they're still just very, very, very bright on my skin, so I'm gonna have to declutter that guy, give it a good home. Next one is from MILF, and this is their Modern Metals Face Palette. This wasn't bad, but I find that the blushes were just like a bit too orange for me and turned me into a Cheeto.
Did you say MILF?
Did I say MILF?
I think you said MILF.
Oh my god.
Hey guys, welcome back to MILF store. We have MILF brushes.
No, I meant to say elf, not MILF or MILF. God damn it. The next one is actually from Ofra, and I purchased this when I was at Ipsy. I think this goes for $120, and I purchased it for 30 bucks. It's actually a really good value, but it's something that I never really reached for. Bronzers and everything, they're not my favorite kind of formula, so I don't really gravitate towards them. The highlighters are always top notch, but yeah, this really weird pyramid. Did you see that one? It's a pyramid.
Illuminati confirmed.
And this is the last video you ever see of me. This is gonna be weird, y'all, but I'm actually decluttering a thing from By Terry. Now, I actually got this gifted to me from a friend that works at a department store, and she was like, hey, try this, bitch. And I'm like, okay, cool. This is the weirdest thing I've ever played with, and this brown shade is diarrhea brown. Like, that is literally Taco Bell coming out of me. I don't like it.
What a visual.
Tell me it's not diarrhea.
What a visual. It's a crunch wrap right there.
Oh no. So I wasn't a fan of that, and then the blushes in itself, they're just like, when am I ever gonna wear that? Like, there's no fucking way, but it's just not meant for me. So this will definitely go to a good home. The next one's from Jeffree Star Cosmetics. This just, I don't know, this made me just look like a fat Twilight vampire. Not into it. These are so old, I'm pretty sure they can vote. I don't like these. They were okay for the time being, but then when I started getting actual decent bronzers, I was like, oh, these are actually pretty garbage. So this one is the Take Me to Brazil and then Reserve Your Cabana. I don't even think they fucking make these anymore.
Old enough to vote. Wow, topical.
Anyway, this is from Makeup Revolution, and this is their apparently cool tone bronzer. It's not cool. As you can see, it's actually kind of red. This was a very warm tone bronzer. So I think this wasn't marked very well. This one is actually a true cool tone bronzer, and this is from The Balm Cosmetics Take Home the Bronze. And this got very weirdly prickled. As you can see, it kind of looks like an alien skin. Honestly, the texture of this grosses me out so much that I was like, all right, it's time to go. I can't. This is gonna have to go in the trash. The next one is from Alamar Cosmetics. And this was okay. This is from BoxyCharm. And again, it was a fine product, but it's just something that I never reach for, ever. The next thing is also from a BoxyCharm thing. This is the Madison Miller Ofra collaboration. And yeah, it's all right.
It's still a review.
Next one is Isn't It Peachy? This palette is just a little bit too orange for me, but the quality wasn't bad. It's just way too orange. Orange. I have tiny little mini Becca highlighters. I have one in Opal and the other one in Champagne Pop. I think one of them broke. Honestly, Becca is okay. I don't think it's my favorite formula ever. No, it's not even like in the top 5. It's okay. The next one is the What's Up from Benefit. I'm very weird when it comes to like cream stick highlighters. I feel like they just never really work on my skin type, so I'm not a fan of this. I don't like it. The next thing are these little Benefit blushes, and I really always like them because I just love the little packaging. They reminded me of like those little McDonald's toys from the 90s, but yeah, I'm just getting rid of them because I never really use them, and I actually have like a really good idea of like what the colors are, so if I were to ever repurchase, it would definitely be like Dandelion. I really did like Gold Rush. Rockateur was okay. California was a little bit too bright for me, but they're not bad, but it's just like I don't really need these little guys anymore. Next one is from Pretty Vulgar, which honestly I just don't like this brand. I don't really think they make good products. This is their bronzer. I received this from a BoxyCharm. It was okay. Fuck it, I don't want it. The next one is from Makeup Revolution, and it's their matte blush in this pinky color. I actually didn't even open this. I think I got this for free. The next one is from Burt's Bees, and this is the Bare Peach blush. This one wasn't bad. I actually got this because Casey Holmes couldn't shut the fuck up about it, and I really did like it, but I find myself not really reaching for it, and it actually kind of pulls a little bit sometimes a little too orange on me, so I think it's just because I'm really, really fair, so I just can't fuck with it. I have more stuff from The Balm. This is their Frat-Boy Blush and Balm Springs. The next one's from Benefit. This is Sugar Bomb, and this is one product that I almost kind of hit pan on. Oh yeah, I think I did actually almost. I really did enjoy this product, but it just after a certain point just kind of pulled a little too orange on me. It wasn't that orange, and then out of nowhere it was just like I'm a fucking Cheeto, so no. The next thing is from Lipstick Queen. This is their cream weird green blush thingy. No, I think the only kind of like cream blush products that I ever want to use is the Cosmetics blush serum drops. Everything else is kind of like meh, not really into it. Next one is from Space Case. This is what I believe I got from either a BoxyCharm or an Ipsy, I forget. But this is like a, kind of like a mauve-y color. Never utilize it at all. Here's a ColourPop one. I don't even know the color of this, but it's this color. ColourPop blushes are kind of hit or miss. I find that they can be like a little bit too powdery and just don't have any pigmentation. Same goes for this ColourPop Peach Blush in Frisky Business. This one, I wanted to like it more and just was not my cup of tea. And last but certainly not least, I've had this blush for a little bit. This is the Tropic Hues from Laura Geller. I really did like the quality of the blush, but it's, ooh, that makes me look like I got the shit kicked out of me. Ugh. I don't know, I really just don't like this kind of oddly peachy purple bruised kind of, I look like a meat dish. Yeah, it looks like somebody kicked the shit out of me. Like I can't fucking wear that. No, I'm good. That is my decluttering. I am so happy to purge these little motherfuckers to actually now have a much more prosperous 2020 where I can fill my collection with much more bullshit so at the end of the year I can do another round of decluttering. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below if any of the products I decluttered are your holy grails, because I'm always very interested to know that. Or if you agree with me that some of these products need to go burn in hell. Let me know. And with that said, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. As always, feel free to like, comment, hit that subscribe button. It's fucking free. And hit that bell icon for notification of all my future posts. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Discord, Patreon. On Thursdays, we have a podcast called Miserable 3. And sometime I'm on my husband's Twitch channel where I just yell about shit on the internet. If you're interested in any of the links I just mentioned, everything will be listed in the description box below. And I'll see you little pumpkins later. Bye!